letting it roll. Setting up. Redirecting. And we're live. Go.
Hello, guys. Manchester United versus Arsenal. It is match day, and of course, as you can see, I'm joined by the lads. Sam, how are you doing? Are you excited for the match, or are you looking forward to it, or what? No, not at all.
No, not excited. Not looking forward to it, but we're United fans, and we're here whether it's good or bad. So
yeah, that's the spirit. Daniel, what's your assessment? Are you looking forward to it? Do you think we're gonna get the job done, or what? What do you think?
Yeah, I need something to cheer up for this weekend at least.
Yeah, don't bank it. Don't bank on United to do that. I hope they do. But yeah, looking at both teams, really throughout the season, if we take it back a little bit, they haven't been in the best of form. Arsenal, especially at the start of the season, a lot of people joking, talking about relegation and stuff, where they got battered by Brentford. They lost a few more, and it was like, wow, it's like it was like 18th, I think, or 17th at some point. They've obviously really turned it around. But I would say for us guys, I don't know if you agree with the statement, the past 2 months has been the worst form we've ever been in post-Fergie. Would you agree with that statement, Sam?
Yeah, it's been terrible. Like, even under Louis van Gaal, which is some of the most boring games I've ever seen in my life, we weren't getting smashed for 5-0, putting zero effort into everything. Even under Mourinho, when he got super toxic, he was getting results. He just was throwing people under the bus left, right and centre. So it's just, yeah, even in our worst times, that I thought the worst times, I've never seen performances like this on the pitch. This has been some of the worst performances I've ever seen. And I've been a United fan for like a long time. This has been awful.
It's been grueling, hasn't it, Dan? Like the performances you put in, you think about the Everton one, the boring Leicester draw, the 4-0 slapping to Liverpool, the 4-1 to Watford when Ollie was in charge, the 2-0 to City, the 4-1 to City, the 5-0 to Liverpool at Anfield. Like the list is absolutely endless.
The Atletico games.
Yeah, the Atletico games are so boring. Would you agree with that statement, what I've just said there, Dan? Like this has been the worst post-Fergie, especially form-wise.
Yeah, exactly. And this season has been very bad. It's not like we have been going down the goals in the start of the match, and then it's like we never want to come back. So it's all about the mentality. So that mentality is not there in this season. Whenever you know that you are going down, the team is never up to that challenge, and you know that whenever we go down, it's like it's very hard to see when they are not putting in efforts. That's where I come down to the youngsters. The last match, Hannibal, that last 10 minutes of the game when he was on, that's what we want from all the players, and that was missing from very long time, especially this season. So that's where the positive thing is, the Eric Ten Hag is the positive thing, and maybe we can turn it around in next season, and we'll see players putting in efforts on the pitch and that mentality change. Hope we get it the next season.
Okay, I've got the starting lineup. This from MUFC MPB, usually quite reliable. If not, I'll go on the United app and get it up.
It's on Sky Sports, so I'll let you know if it's the same.
1 second. I don't know why that says versus Everton. Why is that saying versus Everton? Give me a second.
Do you want me to read them out? I've got them here.
Yeah, I've got it. David De Gea to start in net. Diego Dallo in right back, Varane and Lindelof, which, thank God. Well, obviously, the reason why Maguire's on the bench is because what happened at his house. I don't agree with that, but the fact that Varane and Lindelof are starting together, I do like. I think that's our best partnership, and that started to flourish. Like what was it? End of the year, when like December, November, he was playing together, and we was like, it's developing really nicely. And then he brought Maguire back in, and then it's been Maguire and Varane ever since, pretty much. So nice to see Varane and Lindelof back in. Alex Telles to start left back because there's nobody else. Matic, McTominay, and Bruno. I don't mind that midfield. Elanga, Sancho, and Ronaldo. Now let's just start off at the top of the pitch. David De Gea to get started net, of course. His passing out from the back has been much better today. I think against Liverpool, he had a 40% pass accuracy, and he had 1 out of 10 completed long balls. So shot stopping, as we know, Dan, isn't a problem, but his distribution is going to have to be much better today to start off the attacks, isn't it?
Yeah, so whenever he has the ball, he's not looking confident. Whenever he has, even also he don't trust our defenders also whether to pass them the ball, because we are very bad when we start from the back. So I'm not sure why De Gea is lacking in that particular department. But yeah, personally, I also feel that it has. I know that De Gea is lacking something in that department, but at the same time, I would also blame the other players as well, because in the Liverpool game, whenever you see that whenever Alisson gets the ball, you will see around 4 to 5 Liverpool players making themselves available to receive the pass. But when it comes to United, whenever De Gea has the ball, nobody is willing to take the ball, and I never want De Gea to pass the ball to Maguire or Lindelof at the back, and I never liked the idea of tiki taka from in front of our goal. So yeah, De Gea has that weakness, but at the same time, our players also are not helping De Gea to come out of that weakness.
It's a great point you make, because you are right. They don't make themselves available. Even Scott McTominay does it in midfield sometimes as well. He'll hide behind the player rather than going to receive it. So I get exactly what you're saying. It was just a few times in that Liverpool game, though, where it actually went out of play. Like it went, like it didn't even stay on the pitch. It was like 2 or 3 times where it just went straight for a throw in, and I'm just thinking like, oh my god. But I do agree with you in a sense where the defenders don't exactly make it easy for him. So it's a kind of a tale of two sides. Completely agree with that. Sam, Rafa Varane back in, massive boost for us until obviously 2 weeks' time when he gets injured again. How much of a worry is that? And do you think that's why we got him for such a good price? Like when we bought him from Madrid, we was all like £40 million for Varane. I know we had a year left on his contract, but we was kind of a bit like skeptical why we got him so cheap.
Yeah, like big teams don't let really good players go without a reason. Like Bayern Munich did it. Real Madrid have now done it with Varane. Like it just doesn't. They don't let him go unless there's some sort of reason. And now we're seeing the reason. He's not reliable. We can't count on him. Also, I don't think we're helping his cause, because as soon as he gets fit, and because we're so desperate for like a quality centre back, as soon as he's even like sort of 60% fit, he's like right straight back in the team, and then he's inevitably going to get injured again, because we have no depth at centre back. Or we do have depth at centre back, but none of them we apparently will want to play. We don't want to play Jones. We don't want to play Bailly.
Contrary to what Eric Bailly is saying on Instagram.
Yeah. Maguire is awful. So the only other sort of centre-back that we have that is fit and is average to decent is Lindelof. It's one centre-back we have. So we're forced to play Varane over and over again, even though he's not 100% fit and he's going to keep getting injured. Whereas if we bring in some reinforcements in the summer and get a centre-back, maybe then Varane could sit out when he's like not 100%, and we could get him managing better, and then maybe he might become a better player for us rather than constantly relying on him whether he's half fit or not.
Yeah, for me, Dan, you need that partnership, don't you? To have that consistent partnership. Like even if you look at Arsenal today, their defense has been shocking. It's still not amazing, but they've got that partnership with Gabriel and Ben White, and they're starting to learn off each other. They're starting to play a lot more games together. And like Rio and Vidic would never have been as great as it was if they didn't play so many games together. Like they had about 200 games together, something ridiculous. So you need that consistency, don't you, to proper be a staple in the team as a centre-back partnership.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you see that last season, when Maguire and Lindelof were together, they were the partners. They had this combo of Maguire and Lindelof, and they looked solid, even though they were not best at them. But we conceded very less goals. You see that the defense stats were good as compared to this season. So that's where it comes to about the consistency, and you just make those players, couple of players play together, even though they are not producing the results. But if you get the chance, give them the chance and play them consistently in the same pair, then that can settle down maybe after some time. But with Varane's injury, it has been a great concern this season. So that's one of the reasons why that centre back pairing has not been settled till now. So maybe next season, maybe we may get a couple of one centre back extra in the team, but still. I'm not sure, but I would have loved Bai to get into the team because we have more often. We know that he is injury prone, but we use him at least until he gets injured. So that's the point. I can still see Bai as a better centre back than Maguire and Lindelof. So, but we have never seen him playing given chances. So he has to do some crazy stuffs to get himself in the team that he did yesterday. But still, that also doesn't work out. But yeah, Varane and Maguire could have been the partnership centre-back pair for this season, but it's something has not worked out. At this moment, I think Varane and Lindelof, with the looks of it, it seems that Varane and Lindelof is the best pairing centre back we have at the moment.
Yeah, I like what you're saying about Eric Bailly, because I thought when Rangnick first came in, even in like the Palace game, I thought the way he was describing like the way he wanted to play a high line, on the front foot, aggressive, physical. That describes Eric Bailly in a nutshell for me perfectly. So I expected him to start alongside Varane. I thought them should be able to push right up the pitch, because if anyone gets in behind, then you've got the perfect recovery pace. But for some bizarre reason, that never happened, and he's never got a game, and clearly he doesn't trust him. Maybe, I remember when he threw him in the, was it, no, I don't think Rangnick was in charge, was it? No, it was Ole who put him against City when we lost 2-0. And he sliced it in the net, didn't he? He had an own goal, and he is very erratic at the times. But I've also seen him do very good things. Like I've seen him put in absolute dominating performances. So I think he's deserved starts. And look, maybe he's asking on Instagram, but if on the bit of premise you don't ask, you don't get. It's one of them, but obviously clearly hasn't worked. Rangnick wasn't a fan of that and said it shouldn't happen in any team. That's what he's quoted to say in his press conference. Moving on to another centre-back, Harry Maguire, dropped to the bench today, Sam. The right decision in both aspects, you think?
Yeah, not just because of what's happened outside of the game at his house, which is, if true, not acceptable. Like, we all get passionate about football and we all get angry about football, and we can have little jokes and stuff like that, but to actually threaten somebody's life is next level sort of absolute mentalness. But there you go. His form has not been great either. So based on form and based on sort of pure playing ability and what he's done for the team, he shouldn't be in the team either. The only reason he's in the team, despite what he says, is because he cost £80 million and he's the captain. Yeah. He's not being picked by two managers because he's been good, like he said in the interview, which I thought was a stupid thing to say. He needs to recognise where he's at and why he's in the position he's in, because he got made captain and he cost that amount of money. And if he cost 45 million or 40 million and he wasn't captain, he would have been dropped about 5 games ago.
Absolutely. If he was signed from the German league for £20 million, he was on 100k a week, weren't the captain, no doubt in my mind, he'd be dropped. Absolutely no doubt. But the English bias, the fact he was £80 million, as you said, and his wage, and he's a captain, which he shouldn't be, is, madness for me. We'll see what Ten Hag does to address that situation when he comes in. Just sticking with the defence. Sorry, go on, Dan.
Yeah, Nick. So about this Maguire thing, I still think that the club has led the people to go to this extent, because we have seen that Maguire has not performed well, and the fans are calling it out from the day one that he is not performing well. So when you try to play a same player who is not performing well on the pitch, so that definitely will bring a hatred in the mind of people, and that will lead to such instances that we have seen. So I'm a bit skeptical about this, why it took this much level of hypocrisy, or you may say the criticism that made you to drop Maguire rather than you see the performance of him playing. So this has to be a little portion of the blame has to go to the club as well, those who are making this decision of playing Maguire again and again.
Yeah, that's certainly going to create toxic.
Yeah,
I can't say the word, but you know what I'm going to say. It's going to make the atmosphere toxic, because we, as fans, watch him week in, week out, and we know he isn't playing good enough. He's no way near good enough, and he's at fault for nearly a goal a game. Like the Liverpool game, he was at fault for 2 of the goals.
Yeah.
He shows he's unaware as well. Like that interview showed, he's totally unaware of it. Like he has no concept. It's not like he's going, I know I'm in poor form, but I'm working hard and I want to get better. He's literally gone, no, I've been good because these two managers have picked me. He's like not aware of it at all.
How deluded have you got to be asked in an interview, and then you say, well, the managers have been picking me, so I must be playing good. Like, have you not been watching your performances back? You've been playing shit every game. There's one game I remember in the West Ham game, and he played well against Antonio, and I gave him his props. I watched him live there, and I kept a keen eye on him to see how he got on, and he played well in that game. That is it. Ever since that game, it's been mistake after mistake after mistake. I did a video in December, for God's sake, on Maguire, just focusing on him. And then he was at fault for 15 goals alone, or like with Luke Shaw or something like that. That was then. So I can't imagine if I went back now. I might do an end of the season one, just go back and look at all of Harry Maguire's mistakes, because there must be about 25, 26 that's led to goals. So
do you remember when we like criticised Lindelof? Because like Lindelof used to have like the odd mistake in him, like he'd make the odd thing where he'd like a bit of a clanger. And people were like, "Oh, Lindelof needs to be dropped. Like he's too." And that'd be making one mistake, like the odd mistake. Lindelof, oh, he's not trustworthy. Maguire's doing that every game, 3 or 4 times, and he's still playing. He's still in the team.
And also, it makes you think like maybe that's the reason under Ole, when we was watching him, like Lindelof's worried about Maguire like being a bit more brave on the ball or whatever, because he's got that clown behind him having to look after him. So. Yeah, he needs to recognise the room. Like doing that interview really didn't help him at all, did it? But yeah, sticking with the back line, the wing backs are going to be key in this game today, aren't they, Sam? Like they cannot put in the same performance they did against Liverpool, especially Arsenal. They've got the likes of Saka, Smith Rowe, and Ødegaard, who really good form at the minute. So they're going to have a really good game defensively, aren't they?
Yeah, Dalot didn't look great against Liverpool. At right back or left back, to be honest with you.
Just in that game, sorry to cut in, when we did Statman, he had a 44% pass accuracy, I think, something like that. And similar to the Gea, he had like 1 out of 12 long balls.
Yeah,
like his passing was awful, which you don't really associate with Dalot, do you?
No. Like he under Ragnick, he was the sort of one bright spot that we had. He was playing well, good crossing, good passing, getting forward really well, and he's not been that great the last couple of games. Tellez, you're in the thing because we have no other left back. Like if you want to take that spot away from Luke Shaw, do it now. Like take your chance.
Grab it.
All right, because by next season, when Ten Hag comes in, if you put in a bunch of good performances towards the end of the season, impress him in pre-season, you might be like, oh, now I'm going with this guy. He's better. So like impress for the next manager. I don't have any faith that that's going to happen, but that's what I would be thinking if I was in their positions. That's what I would be wanting to do.
It's not even as if we've got like a young, exciting prospect coming up like a wing back, is it?
They're on loan, aren't they?
Well,
Laird's on loan. Laird's on loan, isn't he?
Yeah, Laird can play both, but predominantly as a right back. That's why I'm saying like you got Brandon Williams, but Norwich is, I think that's his level. Me personally, I don't think he can play for United consistently. But yeah, just on the wing backs, Dan, what are your thoughts on him today? Like I just said to Sam, they're going to have to be really defensively aware, aren't they, with the attacking players they're coming up against?
Yeah, you've seen that these players, Arsenal wingers, they are very pacey players, and but yeah, we have players like Dalot and Telles who are not good in the defense wise, so that's a bit of concern for us. But at the same time, you've seen that Dalot last game, Van Bissaka last game, he was to do that defending job. And he was unable to do the defending job well as well. So we are now lacking that proper wing backs at the moment. We do not have a proper wing back who can do both defense and offense job at the same time. So we have in both the areas, we have seen that Telles is good in attacking wise and he's poor in defending wise. But Luke Shaw is like a balance. But last year, as compared to last year, his form has been dropped a lot. And on the right side, Dalot is attacking. His attacking wise, he is good, but defending he's very poor. And at this vice versa, same applies to Van Bissaka. He's good while defending, but attack wise, he's lacking. So we have these set of players who can do one job at the time instead of doing both the jobs. So we have so many players in the team at the moment. Who for a one player's job that we have 2 players in the team. So it's similar to what McTominay and Fred are doing. So I'm not sure whether I want to get rid of those players and get a better wing backs, but at the same time, I'm not sure whether we'll be able to get it in one transfer window, but because we have other areas to look upon. But at the same time, when it comes to Dalot, he's still 23. I think he has shown us that what type of player he is. When he went on run of games, performing very well. But at the same time, you can see that when Erik ten Hag comes in, I think he can maybe help Dalot to grow defense-wise as well. So he can be a good prospect when Erik ten Hag comes in. But with Van Bissaka, we have already experimented everything, and we can say that he's not good enough attack-wise. But at the same time, Dalot can be improved defense-wise. So I think if you want to sell one of them, I would like Van Bissaka to be sold rather than Dalot, because Dalot he has the potential, so we can try out that potential. But at the same time, I don't think we'll be going for any wing backs at the moment. The situation which we are in, yeah.
We've been saying that for a while, haven't we? Like, if we could get like two players and just merge them together, if you put Dallow's attacking qualities with Wan-Bissaka's defensive ability and make them one right back, we might be all right. If you could get Fred's energy and blend it maybe with Pogba's talent and put them as a midfielder, you've probably got a player there. Like, there's so many players around the pitch there.
Put Fred's energy and legs on Matic.
Yeah,
because those legs don't fall apart.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you could get Dean Henderson's distribution, commanding of the box, and De Gea's shot stopping, merge them together, you'd have a perfect player. So, yeah, I certainly agree with that statement that you just said there, Dan. Let's move it on to the middle of the park, an area that we struggle with a lot, obviously. Looking at that midfield, Matic, McTominay, Bruno, Sam, are you confident with that?
No, but we've had a poor midfield for about what feels like about 10 years at this point.
Yeah, since Carrick left, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Carrick was like the last quality midfielder that we had, I think. We bought Matic past his prime, and he's just gotten further declined as he's got on. We've got Bruno, who's probably our only one quality midfielder. Who's like, when he's on form, he's that world class. But this season, for some reason, he's been super petulant, super overly emotional, trying too hard, like just everything that you don't want out of a midfielder. You want a midfielder to be calm, on the ball, see the passes, playing well. That's what you want. McTominay, I like his energy. I hate using this word, but passion. I like that from him. I hate passion. I hate the word passion. Honest to God, it's fucking lost all meaning.
That should be second nature in it, but
it's lost all meaning at this point. But
yeah, it isn't in this team. We don't get passion at all, do we? So.
But I just don't think his ability is there. And I know he's still, what is he, 25, 26?
Yeah.
He could still develop, but I doubt it at this point. I think we would have seen it by now. I think we would have seen if he was going to become that sort of top midfielder. He's more of a box-to-box. I think that's why Matic is playing behind him so he can bomb forward, which he's quite good at. But yeah, I just don't think he's a quality midfielder. Good squad player, but I don't think he shouldn't be the first option starting a game just because he gives you passion and energy. He shouldn't be that. So hopefully in the summer, Ten Hag brings in... There's rumours they're going to bring in two, a creative and a defensive, but arguably we need three because Matic's going, Pogba's going, Fred and McTominay should be squad players. So arguably we need three midfielders. Maybe James Garner's one of them. Maybe he's one, and then we bring in two players. Maybe that's... maybe that's as well. So hopefully our midfielder looks a lot better next season, but at the minute it's just piss poor.
I think bringing James Garner back into the fold anyway would make it miles better. Like, he's so much better at ball retention and actually like technical ability than most of the players we've got. So interesting to see what happens there. Just my thoughts very quickly on it. I think we know Matic, he always struggles towards the end of the game. Like against Liverpool in like the 60th, he was blowing out of his arse. He was struggling to deal with the counter press because Liverpool are one of the best in the world in that, like the transitional. He just could not keep up with the pace of the play. Then I question myself and say, well, how fit is McTominay coming into this? Like, I don't know how long
it's another Varane situation, isn't it? It's like he's just come back and fully fit, and you're already chucking him into a big game.
That's what I'm saying. So we don't know how fit he's going to be. We haven't exactly got a replacement to bring off the bench who's going to do a job like maybe one matter for 5 minutes or something. You know what I mean? But I think it's actually the first time we've seen Matic, Bruno, and McTominay for a while. I don't think we've seen that, and I can't remember the last game we've seen it because usually it's Fred, McTominay, Bruno, or Fred, Matic, Bruno. That's usually how they do it. So it'll be interesting.
It's been Bruno, Pogba, Matic, hasn't it, as well?
Yeah. And like I've seen Matic and McTominay before, and it didn't work. It did not work at all. I've seen that in a 4-2-3-1 under Ole, and that really didn't work. So I'm eager to see how they do it today. If it's more like a 2 box-to-box, or they just have Scott and Matic sitting.
Interesting. I've just noticed Hannibal's not on the bench.
Yeah, he played for the under-23s. Dan mentioned, I think, when I was.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So
I was just looking at the bench.
I thought it was a perfect game to chuck him in. To be honest, I thought I won't mind starting him. You know, we showed a bit of fight, more fight than any of the players did for 90 minutes. So why not give him a chance? Like, and you can see he's got quality as well. So
I'd hope to see. I'd maybe see Garnacho because he's on the bench. I'd like to see him get an opportunity today.
Yeah.
Like, even if we're in the rare event, we might be winning 2-0 up and giving the last 10 minutes, or even if we're getting battered, fuck it. Throw him on, give him some experience.
But just sticking with the midfield for now, I spoke to the guys on the preview last night about this, Dan, but what's happened to Bruno Fernandes? Like, where do you think it's gone wrong for him? Because the past 2-3 months, for me personally, I think teams know he's a hothead and he gets over emotional, and I think they target him a bit and try, basically make him kick off, and it seems to work quite a lot of the time. So, do you think it's his temperament that's really affecting his, or do you think it's something more deeper than that, deep rooted?
I personally think maybe the change of his positioning in the formation, and maybe the role has changed this season. When previous season and maybe when Oli was here, he was playing a bit like a secondary striker or attacking midfielder role, maybe like a free roaming player. But now with Ragnick coming in, his job has changed, and now he has to do both defending and attacking at the same time and playing as a midfielder, which I liked. And I was saying this from very long back, like I want Fernandes to be disciplined a bit and play more in the midfield role rather than just going ahead of the pitch. But it seems like he likes to play ahead in that attacking maybe strikers or secondary striker roles. But yeah, he has to change himself and be disciplined rather than spending his energy elsewhere. Just concentrate in his own game rather than doing others' job. We have seen a lot more time that he's doing defending where other players should have been in that defensive position. But you see that he's all over the pitch at the moment. He's all over the pitch. He's near the opponent's goal as well as he's near our goal as well. So his play style has to be disciplined a bit. So I think, but he can. I expect him to play as what Real Madrid center 3 line they play, so he can fit perfectly in that position, like what Modric and maybe Kroos plays. So that role I want him to play, but at this moment it seems that he wants to play a bit ahead. So I'm not sure whether when with Erik ten Hag, if he comes in, Erik ten Hag is a fan of 4-2-3-1, what he's applying in Ajax. So I think if Erik ten Hag goes with 4-2-3-1, I think Bruno will be back in his form where he likes to play. But yeah, at this moment, with the form he is in, it's very tough to just analyze where the problem lies. But what I suspect is the way his job role was changed has affected him a lot.
Yeah, and I think Ronaldo coming in has had an effect, like a big effect on that as well. Because obviously Bruno, before Ronaldo came in, was the main man, wasn't he? He was the guy. Ronaldo comes in, takes all the spotlight, and then occupies that space quite a lot where Bruno was playing, as you say, with the false 9 kind of thing. So I think he's kind of lost at the minute. He's like, wow, how have I gone from having like 18 goals and 12 assists in a season like Premier League, breaking Lampard's record, being the main man, one of the best players in the league, and now he's dropped so far off the boil. He's probably panicking a little bit in his head and thinking, like, how do I get back to that form? And I think Erik ten Hag coming in the summer will have a massive effect on that, and hopefully he can getting back to the standard that we all know, that we all love. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, on the same point, Nick, you made just a great point there. So I think all the 3 players that we bought this season, Ronaldo, Sancho, and Varane, as you mentioned that with Ronaldo incoming, Bruno Fernandes was hindered. His performance was hindered. And with Sancho coming in, you've seen that Rashford performance was hindered. And with Varane coming in, you have seen that Maguire's performance was hindered. So it's looking like a same concept for all the 3 players. Like they were at the limelight before these signings were made. So now when they all came, when they see a better performer ahead of them getting the spotlight, so their performance has been dipped a lot.
Absolutely. I think that's another good point you make, because Ronaldo coming in hasn't just had an effect on Bruno. It's the captaincy thing as well. Like between him and Maguire, I called it on the pitch against Brighton. Loads of other situations where they're just bickering at each other. And I think Harry Maguire feels undermined by Ronaldo. And why wouldn't you? Because he's won everything in the game. Maguire's won nothing. So you automatically there's a level change there. So yeah, that's
the way I describe it is like, imagine you're directing a short film, like it's your first short film, you direct it and all your stuff. And then the people go, oh, by the way, we've brought in a Quentin Tarantino. He's going to like come in and just, you're still going to be in charge. You're still going to direct, but he's going to be working on a thing. And you've just got this ridiculously, amazingly talented world famous director just over your shoulder pecking. You're just like, well, my authority is complete shit, isn't it? Because this guy's here. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's like you're running. If Maguire was running in a Nando's or a KFC or something like that, and then he has Gordon Ramsay come in to work with him, it's just never ever going to work, is it? Because he's constantly going to be criticising you and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's move on to the attack line, guys. Jadon Sancho on the right today, apparently, according to the graphic, and Elanga on the left. What are your thoughts on that, Sam? What are you expecting?
I think obviously he can play on both, can't he? Because he played half his games on the left for Dortmund, so he can play both. And we bought him to be a right winger, but now the rumours are we're going to buy another right winger in the summer, which is mental. So he can play there. I think his best performances have come off the left this season. I think that's where he's been best for us. He's played very well off the left because he can cut in. He's right-footed, right?
Sancho.
Yeah. So he likes to cut in off the left, doesn't he? Like dribble at players and then have a pop or slide a pass through and stuff like that. So maybe there's a reason for him putting him on the right. I'm not sure what. Maybe he's looking for more assists for Ronaldo because if he's a right foot, he can get a cross in. Maybe that's what he's looking for. Get it on Ronaldo's head. Elanga, you have to pick him because Rashford's form's in the toilet. That's when you asked about where's Bruno Fernandes, where the hell is Marcus Rashford? What has happened there? I don't understand what's happened there. He's supposedly fully fit. He's had the surgery to fix his shoulder. His back's all right now, and he's playing worse than ever. I don't understand. So Elanga has to start, I think, even though his form's not been great last couple of games, but you can't really have a go at him because he's a young lad and he's basically playing first team football when in any other team, if he was in Liverpool or City's team, he wouldn't be playing game in, game out. He would be introduced slowly, like the way Phil Foden was, or like Harvey Elliott is at Liverpool. He's not playing every game. He's not playing week. He's introduced at the right times and managed properly, which is what Elanga should be doing. But he's been forced into a first team spot. So inevitably his form's going to do this because he's not used to playing consistently in a top team.
Yeah. Just a few comments in the chat I just want to read. So Graham Mulgers, how are things, lads? Really good. Hope you're well, mate. Lewis Jackson, the full lot are in for a shock with this new manager. Half of them ain't playing next season. Yeah, you're probably right. It's big culture reset to happen. And he says, not sure if you watched Arsenal versus Chelsea, but we are getting slapped today. I did watch that game and Arsenal looked good. However, if you take a look...
They looked leaky at the back, didn't they?
If you take a look at their last 5 games, yes, they beat Chelsea 4-2. They lost to Southampton 1-0. They lost to Brighton 2-1, and they lost to Crystal Palace 3-0. So they're the results I want to focus on more going into this game.
They can be got at. Like the Chelsea's and Arsenal's defense, both of them looked shit in that game. Like the attacking was great, but the defensively they looked awful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dan, yeah, just talk your thoughts on Sancho and Elanga. What are you expecting from them today? Obviously, if the graphics, if you believe the graphic, Sancho on the right, Elanga on the left. Do you think that's better for Elanga, or do you prefer seeing him on the right?
I think Elanga was feeling comfortable on the right side rather than playing on the left side. So when you know that Sancho is tearing it apart from the left side, then why you want to change the position of a player who is already has settled himself in that position? And personally, I have a different opinion in Rashford case. So for this particular situation, when you're trying to shift the position of Sancho from left to right, then why not play Rashford and give him a chance where his Rashford's best position is left out and left wing and last few matches where Rashford has played, I don't think he has played in his own position. Maybe he was tried more on the right side. So then when you are trying to place Sancho on the right side, then you can definitely go for give Rashford a chance because he will still be there in the for the next season. So now almost the season is over. So then why not give him a chance to revive his form there? So Elanga, I'm not a fan of Elanga playing on the left side. I would rather, if you give me an option for a right wing between Elanga and Rashford, I will definitely go for Elanga. But when it comes to left wing, I think Rashford should have been given a chance. Ooh. But at this moment, you have, as also Sam also mentioned, that Elanga, he's not in good form for the last couple of weeks. So I think he can be given a bit of rest and give Rashford a chance to prove himself when these games, almost the season is over. So when these games may not give the boost in the season, so you can give players like Rashford and Hannibal and Garnacho a chance to prove themselves and make themselves so that Eric Ten Hag will have a decision to make in the coming summer.
It's crazy how we've signed Jadon Sancho for the right-hand side in it, and then we've just sort of just deployed him on the left. So now we're like, right, now we need another right winger. What are we going to do there?
It took us 10 years to buy another right winger. And then once we need another one.
It was like we didn't had a right winger. Then suddenly we had Pelistri, we had Ahmad there. We bought Ahmad, and then we bought Sancho, and Alanga also was coming through. Now we are again going for a right winger. So that's a very crazy thing to.
It's not it. It's absolutely mad.
Are we going to touch? Have you got Pogba in your notes, Nick? Are you going to touch on Pogba?
No. I'm just going to talk about Ronaldo. Then we can get onto the players. Yeah. So we'll get onto Pogba and stuff. Cristiano Ronaldo back into the team, obviously after the really bad thing that happened to him with his newborn baby. Where do you think he's going to be the typical Ronaldo about this? Because obviously when he was having situations with his father, Fergie let him go, didn't he? There was a story that happened. He went and seen him, and then he came back and was just not normal, but was just playing to the level that we know he can. Do you expect the same from him today? And how tough is it mentally to try focus on something like that when such a tragedy has happened?
Is that me?
Yeah. Anyone can take
that. Yeah, I think Ronaldo he's got that mentality, hasn't he, where he can block everything that's going on out and just focus completely on what he's doing. I don't think he's got to where he has and scored the goals that he has and won the stuff that he has without doing that. Like, his mentality is like a steel trap. Like, you're not getting in, you're not breaking it. I think he'd just be human if it affects his form in any way. You'd expect it, because who wouldn't? Like, if you lost a family member, or you lost, especially a child, like, I don't know what that's like, but if you lost, I can only imagine losing a kid. It must be one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. So if it did affect him, I don't think anybody would blame him, or anybody would expect anything less. But Ronaldo is that kind of guy where I don't think he'd let it affect him. I think he'd park it. He'd come to the game. It'd be park it over there. I'll do that when the game's finished. Focus 100% on that. And then after the game, he can go back. I think he can separate that. I think that's the way he lives his life. He sort of separates what he does and then what his personal life is.
Well, he's just a top professional, isn't he? Like, I wouldn't expect any less from Ronaldo, to be honest. Like, even if he would have said, I need a month and whatever it is, you give it him.
I would like, if it was me, I'd probably take the rest of the season off. Like, if it happened to me, I wouldn't be playing again for a bit. But he is the reason why he's the greatest player of all time is because of this mentality he has. Like, that's why he's that guy. Yeah,
it'd be nice to see him get a goal as well. I suppose just to not just for us.
Ronaldo, I think Ronaldo is one of the best player handling these type of things mentally, because he's the strongest player. He's a player who has the strong mentality at this moment. I think he is one of the strongest player mental wise. And but we have also seen during all these 10-20 years, whenever he has played, whenever he has been in such situations where he's mentally hurt, maybe may it be something related to his personal life, or may it be some related to his criticism. But the good thing is that he has come back stronger, and he has converted those lows into a good performance, and he has put in a great performance whenever he has come back from these type of situations. So I think he'll be strong today, and he will prove he will put in a great performance today with what has happened last week to him. And he wants, like you said in the last week, that he can play for something that he has lost. So that definitely will bring a positive for this game as well.
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes captain as well today, guys. Just like obviously Maguire isn't in the team, so Bruno will be captain. Let's hope he puts in a captain's performance. Sam, you wanted to touch on Paul Pogba. Obviously a lot of stuff surrounding him at the minute, out to the end of the season potentially, and then probably that's it. The last time seeing him was the Liverpool game.
Well, news broke last night, didn't it? We put it on our page that Ralph in his press conference basically said, yeah, he's not renewing his contract and he's out the door at the end of the summer. He's not staying. I think Goldbridge put a tweet out. He said only United could lose a player for free, pay nearly 100 million to get him back, and then lose him for free again. It just shows you the state of our club.
Not to forget about the wages as well, Sam, they're paid on top of that.
Like, if I just take Pogba aside and his whole circus around him, the way our club does business is unbelievably stupid, and we can't seem to make a profit. I think Dan James is the only player I can remember we made a profit on.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last player we made a profit on. But then obviously Pogba hit the whole circus with him. Raiola, his agent, likes to shout his mouth off all the time and constantly get more money for his players, or hinting at a move and trying to get him away and stuff like that. I'm just wanted to ask you guys, are you glad now that it's settled, that he's going and the circus is gone and we can move on from it? Is it like you're happy?
I think it's better for both sides. Absolutely, 100% it's better for both sides. If he gets his move to, I've always said for the past 2 years, I think he'll end up at PSG. I just think living in Paris, that sort of starlight kind of thing, he would suit, it'd suit Paris more. But I think they're changing stuff upstairs with the directors and stuff. So maybe they'll stop going for the Galactical signings because that hasn't necessarily worked for him, and they'll change their transfer policy. Yeah. So if that is the case, they won't go for Paul Pogba and he'll end up at Juventus or even maybe Real Madrid or somewhere like that. But I just think for us, look, it's a constant. This is why that's part of the United soap opera. Is Paul Pogba? They know news, especially the British media. They know they put his name in an article, it's going to get clicks and it's going to get backlash and it's going to get all this kind of stuff. But the media don't care because any attention is good attention in their eyes. So they will create these loose headlines about Paul Pogba to get clicks. And I just think it has a negative effect on the club. It has a negative effect on the players. It has a negative effect on the fans. And it hasn't really worked out, if we're being completely honest. He's had up to 2 seasons out with injuries, like the equivalent, basically. He's never had full consistency. At the start of the season, we've seen him get up 7, 8 assists, people talking that he could break the assist record. Yeah. What's happened to that now? Because ever since that, like the first month or whatever, he's been okay. But for £90 million, you expect, you talk about Kevin De Bruyne with £50 million. He's on like 200 grand a week, less money than him.
Arguably, Bruno, what did Bruno cost? Like 45?
Yeah.
Arguably, Bruno's been better than him.
Well, Bruno's had a bigger impact, no doubt in my mind. In the 2 years,
he cost half the price.
People will say that, you get the kind of niche fans on Twitter who are talking about like Pogba's the greatest. He's technical. Yeah, on his day, he is. He's one of the best players on the planet, but he doesn't do it. Like when you're talking football, you bring consistency into it. And Pogba ain't done it consistently. He's never done it. That's always been the question. So, yeah, probably he'll go to a Serie A or he'll go to La Liga and he'll flourish there, no doubt in my mind.
He'll get time on the ball, won't he? He'll have time on the ball, which is what he wants.
And in the Premier League, when the going gets tough, he ain't the guy. So, for me, I'm happy to let him go. I don't know what you think, Dan.
Yeah, I think we can criticize this player. Maybe out of 100 points, we can criticize him for 99 points. But in my opinion, that 1 point will always be in my mind, that we didn't provide a proper center defensive midfielder to play alongside Pogba, because we have seen him playing for France and he's playing alongside Tchouaméni or Kante. He's at different level. But when it comes to United, when he plays alongside players like McTominay and Fred, his performance is dipping. But yeah, at the same time, as you also mentioned, that he's not that much tenacious or that energy which is required for a player to have when he plays for this league. So that's a very high energy we need. And but yeah, as you mentioned, that we can be a very good player in maybe other leagues or maybe slower leagues. So yeah, at this point, he's considering his wages. I think as I also mentioned it before, also that his wages we can cover. Whatever the players we buy, that all the players' wages will not sum up to this what Pogba is having now. So I think this is the right time to part ways. I know that he's been going for free, but yeah, there's nothing, because that when he is here, the environment becomes toxic with whatever his agent also speaks there. So, but at the same time, last game, I thought that we could have given chance to Hannibal instead of playing him, because we know that he's not performing well and he's not going to sign his contract. So why not give other player a chance, and he will Hannibal, he will give his life for this team and for the performance he has put in the last game for the last 10 minutes. Pogba might have never put in this, at least in this season, of that level of that competitiveness he might have not shown in this season. So at this point, I think it's good for both sides to part ways. But in January, I think we expected we know that he is going to he is not going to sign, but he could have. We thought that he may give good performance because he has to showcase himself to the other teams. So then only he'll get the offers. But that also didn't work out that much great. So yeah, I think this is the end for Pogba for this United shirt.
And not just him.
Ahmad's just scored. Ahmad's just scored for Rangers, by the way.
Star boy. He's my boy. He's my boy. Yeah, I think I'll be glad to see the back of a few players, if I'm being completely honest. Like when Matic goes, look, he's been a great servant, as you said last night, Sam, on the show, but I'll be glad to see him go because he shouldn't be stunting other players coming through like James Garner and all these kind of guys to get a chance on the bench. You've got Juan Mata who's going, who's a lovely guy.
I love Juan Mata. He's like, as a human being, as a player, fantastic, but he shouldn't be in the team. Like, yeah, he's had 2 Premier League starts and 4 or 5 appearances. Why couldn't Hannibal be playing those appearances?
He's always there in the bench. So he's just
exactly that. You just put a youth player in there. I don't get it.
So I'll be glad to see the back of them and Jesse Lingard, players like that. I'm happy to go because they're just creating a toxic environment. I even think Eric Bailly, I'm glad to see. I just want to see him get game time in a different league and be happy. It's just not worked out here.
Phil Jones as well. You just want to see Phil Jones get game time, play for a team. It's sad otherwise, isn't it?
But let's take our attention away. Coming kick off in about 15 minutes. So I just want to focus on Arsenal for a second. What are you expecting from them today, Dan? What do you think? Do you think they're going to be at the races, or do you expect a typical Arsenal kind of frail defence performance?
Yeah, before that, I think, Sam, can you read out the Arsenal lineup?
Yeah, one sec. Arsenal,
it's almost the same lineup as
Ramsdale, Suarez, White, Gabriel, Tavares, Elneny, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Smith Rowe, and Nketiah.
Yeah. So I think with the lineup, it seems that they are gone almost with the same lineup as they played against Chelsea. I think only Cedric, if I'm not wrong, Cedric was not there in the last game. But yeah, they have gone with almost the same team, and they're attacking. Maybe they may be leaky at the defense, but their attack is at different level at this moment. With the pacey players, the Sakas and the Odegaards, and from this side, you have seen that Smith Rowe is Smith Rowe is also his potential is very high and he is improving a lot. So these type of players can put in a great show tonight as well. But the good thing is that Maguire is not playing, and we have Varane and Lindelof to cover up them. But yeah, our wing backs will have to be on their toes to just block their runs. And if we play high line again for this game, I think that will hit us hard again. So I think keep the defense line back, and then you'll be able to manage these type of players. So yeah, it's going to be a very tough game. Defense-wise, everyone has to be on their toes to just block them. Attack-wise, I think our players will get a lot of chances because their defense is leaky. So it's a winnable game. At the same time, you have to be careful at the defense.
Absolutely. What do you think, Sam? What worries you? I know we spoke about it last night, but just fresh analysis now. You're looking at the team, looking at our team. What do you think? Saka, is he the danger man?
Saka, Odegaard. I really rate Odegaard. I think he's a phenomenal player. His passing, his range of passing, his vision, is off the ball running, is everything he's got is fantastic, and he's only young as well. He's not that old, so he can only get better. I would do a job on him if possible. Who was it? Ander Herrera marked in the City game, and he basically followed him to the toilet. Is it Bruyne?
You had Park Ji-sung on Pirlo.
Ander Herrera literally just followed De Bruyne around the entire game. I would, if Matic was in, if we playing Fred, I would have just said to Fred, see that Norwegian fella? Is he Norwegian? Or is he Swedish?
Yeah.
See that Norwegian fella? Just stick to him like glue. Do not let him out of your sight, because he will create something. He will be dangerous. And like you said, Saka, very quick, got an eye for goal, can set up, can pass and stuff like that. He's a dangerous player as well. So, those are the two sort of key players I'd sort of keep my eyes on. Nketiah, I know he's got like 6 months on his contract left. I know he's like looking like he might like leave out the door. I think Smith Rowe's in a similar position, isn't he? He's got like a very short amount of time on his contract.
I think he's got a bit more than Nketiah.
Has he got a bit more?
Yeah.
So yeah, a couple of players there like that. I think that defense can be got at though. I don't think there's any sort of star people in that defense. Gabriel's got a hot streak, hasn't he? He likes to sort of get booked quite a bit and stuff like that. So I know he likes to sort of have a go. So yeah, that defense can be got at, I think. Behind Odegaard, I think don't think that midfield is great either. Like El Neni and Xhaka. Xhaka wind him up. Definitely getting wound up.
I can see someone getting sent off today, me. To be honest, that's going to be one of my predictions. I think someone's get sent off, or at least close to being sent off.
I can see Xhaka and Bruno kicking off with each other. I can see that happening. So wind him up, might get him sent off, and El Neni's not. I don't think he's anything special, so I think he can be got. So yeah, if we can get at him and neutralize their forward players, it's a winnable game. But whether we do that, I don't know.
We spoke about obviously Saka there and Odegaard, rightfully so, but even Emile Smith-Rowe, 10 goals and 2 assists in 19 starts for Smith-Rowe, so he's a danger threat as well, and they all interchange. They can all play anywhere across the front line, so they need to be switched on. Like, concentration is massive defensively in this game. But what I want to finish up on, guys, is the best memory. Obviously, this is a historic fixture. It used to be the biggest rivalry when it was like, you had Wenger and Ferguson. A long way from that now, but what are your favourite memories from, like, you think about the fixtures? Is it the 8-2? Is it when, Van Nistelrooy missed that penalty, had Keown screaming in his face? You had Vieira and Keane in the tunnel. Like, what would you select, Sam? What do you think?
I was at the 8-2 game at Old Trafford. That's one of my favourite memories of all time. My ex-girlfriend's first ever time going to Old Trafford, and that was the game she got, which is ridiculously lucky. So that'll always stick with me. What we do for the same result tonight, should I say? It'd make my year after watching United this year.
It's just a plastering of Arsenal. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
It'd be fantastic. The Nistelrooy one sticks in my head. I remember him missing that penalty, and then like who was the goalkeeper, the German guy?
Lehmann,
he was like shoving him and getting in his face, and Keown was being a dick. I remember that game very well. That was not a great memory, but I remember that game. I remember the ball going out, and Ronaldo. Is it Ronaldo? Yeah, Ronaldo went to get the ball for him to give the keeper back the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Lehmann shoved him over. It's just like, I remember that absolute niggly stuff. Obviously, Vieira Keane's famous for the amount of shit they kicked off.
Pick on someone your own size. On someone your own size.
Yeah.
I see you out there.
I remember Fergie winding Wenger up every time we played them. He'd just be like winding him up on the sidelines or saying stuff in press conferences and stuff. Yeah. That rivalry was what I grew up on, and I loved it. But yeah, my favourite memory, 8-2 at Old Trafford. I was there in the Stretford end. Fucking absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Dan, what about yourself? Your sound's not on, Dan. You might have muted yourself, I think. Nope, still can't hear you. Whilst you're sorting that out, I'll go through. I'll take you through my memory. Like you mentioned, like I mentioned, should I say, the Vieira Keane in the tunnel. I absolutely love that. When he's just like, I'll see you out there. And that's that shown like the fierce rivalry between both teams and how high tensions got, and it feels like so far away from that now.
Well, it's like you see like players who are on the same international team, in the tunnel, they're shaking hands, hugging each other and stuff like that. Like they're all sort of friendly. Like, and I remember when we played City and Gary Neville, and Schmeichel was playing for City, and Schmeichel came over to shake Gary Neville's hand. He was like, "Fuck off!" Like, no.
He went to, didn't he? He like looked. Yeah. He went to. Went no, mate. Yeah. I'm not going to.
It's like, where's that? Can we get that back, please? Can we have that back where we just like hate them when we play a game? Like, outside of the game, do what you want, but during the game, they're the fucking enemy.
That's what it's all about. Like, you respect them as players on the pitch. Like, you look at Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, unbelievable.
He's
players.
Still got it back. Did you see that video of him coaching the Belgian team with De Bruyne and stuff like that?
Henry.
Yeah, like he was. He was coaching him. He was like coaching him. He's got these like tiny little shorts on, and he's like showing him how to do these like free kicks and stuff. And literally, I think, what is he, like in his 40s now? Thierry?
Probably.
And he literally just steps up, looked to the goal. He had like 5 people in the wall and just went dink, over a top corner, binned it, and he's like, that guy is just.
In my opinion, even as a United fan, like one of the greatest ever in the Premier League, if not
amazing.
the greatest. So yeah, they've had phenomenal players in that invincible era. Fantastic, and then obviously we've had the '99 season and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, a great rivalry, but both teams, far off that at the minute. Have we got you back now? Are you back in the room?
Able to hear me now?
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, just very quickly, your favourite memory, Arsenal versus United.
Yeah, I started watching football, I think, in 2007 or 6, somewhere around that. So from there, it was, I think, in 2008 or 9, and Ronaldo scored a free kick, 40 yards free kick. I think it was Champions League semi-final against Arsenal.
Yeah.
So that was one of the
the far out one, that 40 yards. And Almunia got a touch to it, didn't he? And it was, I
just remember the commentator's thing just going, Ronaldo.
He actually, I think the commentator said he's not going to score from here.
Yeah.
And he just smacked it and drilled it in the bottom corner. He was like, oh, he has scored. Oh, my God. Yeah, I remember that. Great free kick. Even times like that, Ronaldo in that shirt with the long sleeves, the winger. Yeah, it's depressing times now when you compare it to that. But yeah, looking forward to the game, guys. Hopefully we can have a smile on our face when we're doing the analysis, and we'll see what happens. But for anyone watching now, or maybe if you're watching later on, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Any kind of support.
Like it.
Like, comment. Put your predictions in. Let us know at Real Reds Talk, and we'll be eternally grateful. So thank you for your support. Thank you for joining me, lads. Make sure anyone watching as well, you follow all our socials: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. We're literally everywhere, absolutely everywhere. So just type in Real Reds Talk, and you'll see news, content, transfer updates, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's it. I'm looking forward to the game, lads. Hopefully, like I said, we can have a smile and we can put in a decent performance. But judging from the past 4 or 5 games, that isn't going to be the case, but yeah, we'll see. Thank you for tuning in, guys, and thank you for joining me, lads. We'll see you in the next one.
We're out. We're good.
Cool.